We're going to start discussing solving equations with a very simple two-step equation to solve in order to illustrate how to solve an equation and what's it mean to be a solution to an equation. If you notice in the upper right-hand corner, we have our 3 steps to solving an equation. You always simplify both sides, get the variables to the same side, and then use inverse operations in order to solve. So if I start looking at my example here, both sides are already simplified. There's nothing to simplify on the left or the right. There's only one set of variables, and it's on the left-hand side. So all I need to do is use inverse operations to solve. Remember, my ultimate goal is to get the variable all by himself. So whenever I begin attacking this, I always attack from the outside in. So I go to the quantity that's furthest away from my variable, in this case, 3. And I look at that 3 and I think, what kind of 3 is he? And he's really a positive 3. So to undo a positive 3, I subtract 3 from both sides of my equation. What that allows me to do is eliminate him from that side. So I'm left with a negative 5x equals, and then do the algebra on the right-hand side, I get negative 35. I'm one step closer to having the x all by himself. For my final step, I notice that this negative 5 right here is attached to the x with multiplication. So in order to undo that, I divide both sides by negative 5. And again, the negative 5s are going to reduce down to a 1, which is what I want, leaving just my variable x, all alone and isolated now. And then doing the math on the right-hand side, I get a positive 7. So the solution to my equation is x equals 7. Now, how do I know that I'm correct? Well, if I check my answer, I take the positive 7, and I'm going to substitute him back in to my original, which was 3 minus 5x is negative 32. So I'm going to swap out that x for a 7 and see if he makes both sides the same. So I get 3 minus 5 times 7. And now I'm checking to see, does it equal negative 32? So that gives me 3 minus 35. I still don't know yet if it equals negative 32. And finally, I prove that negative 32 does in fact equal negative 32. So when I substitute that 7 back in for x, I prove that he is a solution to my equation. And in this case, he is the only solution, the only number that would make both sides the same on my original equation.